Alright everybody, welcome to your, I guess, 21st Angular 2 tutorial, and in this tutorial we'll be continuing with our application of login. And before starting, I would like to download Bootstrap, the Twitter Bootstrap CSS file, so that the job of just styling a bit of elements is done by Bootstrap and we can just focus on Angular 2. So let me just get rid of this and clear, and then I'm gonna say uh, npm install bootstrap and save and hit enter. Let's just wait for it to complete, and once it is done, just go ahead and look in your node modules, bootstrap, and this one, the bootstrap minified.css. And as you can see, this is a whole lot of bootstrap code right here. So alright, now just open your index.html and right here add this bootstrap file, which would be node modules. Then we have bootstrap, then distribution css, bootstrap min.css, and here we go. And make sure you start your server again. So here we go, pretty much looks like bootstrap is loaded. And the next thing we need to do is to set up our login form. So I'm just gonna change this to template URL, and let's just say this is app templates login form.html. And if I just go up a little bit, close this down, and just create a simple little login form.html, and we don't need to start writing off with the HTML tag because this is a component. So I'm gonna say form, then I'm gonna say div class of form group, then a label for, let's just say this is my username, and your username would go here, then input type text, ID of uname for the label one, and then class of form control. And all these classes are coming off from the Bootstrap framework, the Twitter Bootstrap one. So I'm just gonna copy and paste this thing again down here, and I'm gonna say this one is password, and change this ID to pwd, let's just say, and this one is a form control as well. And finally we need a submit button, so I'm gonna say button type of submit, and then class of button default, and yes, it is a button. So let's just say this is login and form. So here's our simple form loaded, and pretty much right now nothing happens. So what I want is that I want to somehow get this data which user is entering right here into my console. So let me just change this to errors only so that it looks clean. So inside my login form, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say this is a data and this is an object, and I'm gonna say that on submit, or basically let's just change this to form submit, and this is a function which would say pretty much console log this dot data. Okay, so now what's happening is that I'm gonna make use of ng model to two-way bind the data to this data object. And what I'm gonna do is inside these square brackets, which just pretty much means that I'm just looking for an update, and this parenthesis, which means that I'm looking for an event, I'm gonna write ng model equals data dot username. Now what this does is, what basically two-way binding does is that it just keeps the view, that is your HTML page and your component, That is your this login.ts synchronized with each other. For example, let's just say you made a change to data.username here somewhere in your code, then it would immediately reflect in your view. And if you are kind of able to change the data.username in the view itself, then you can just make use of the updated data in your component. So that's sort of a plus point of two-way data binding. And similarly, I'm just gonna say this one right here for password. And finally, what I want is that an event on ng summit actually, and this would be form summit. Let's just call this. Cool. Now, if I just view it in the browser, let's just say this is admin, login. Pretty much. Wait a minute. ng model. Change this to password. Well, that's not actually a problem. So ng summit is form summit, and this data. Oh, don't do this. That's a very silly mistake. So you need to just surround this event in parentheses, because in Angular 2 we just do something like that. So now if I reload admin, and let's just disable the XML HTTP request for now and just reload it again. Admin, and login. You can see that we got the username and password as admin and admin for our own use. So now we can pretty much do like a bit of routing stuff. So if data.username is equal to admin and data.password is equal to admin, console log hello admin, else console log who the f are you, and if I just try any other combination, okay, so error during data is not defined. Okay, so this dot data and this dot data, pretty much. So any other combination yields us who the f are you, but admin gives us hello admin. So that's pretty much how you differentiate between administrator and other users. And what I wanted to say in the first tutorial of this login application is that you need to move this logic from your JavaScript file to your backend. So pretty much what you'll do instead here is perform an HTTP request and would send a data.username, and this is just a sort of dummy code, it's not actual code, and data.password. Then on a callback function you'll check that if response is true, or if response says admin, then you want to just throw it, or pretty much just response could be a cookie as well, which you just simply set in the browser, and then the backend itself decides what the user is. So yeah, so that's pretty much it for this video, and in the next video we'll be routing off the user to different pages depending upon what the user is. So if you like this tutorial, then don't forget to subscribe, and thank you for watching.